We're gonna check and see if it worked. See what's happening. Yeah. Thank you for tuning in to No Flag Radio. I'm your host, P. Speaking, what's up? Today we talking about police officers who get killed and how the media asks us to be sad about it. So this is a cast I did yesterday, and YouTube, they fucked it up. They changed my stream key. Like, we have a key that we have to use to get into YouTube side of the streaming world. They changed my key and didn't tell nobody. He ain't tell me. So I did the whole damn cast thinking, yeah, this shit rocking, it's good, give my points off, it's good. That shit didn't even fucking save. So let me double back to my chizat. I noticed I was going through the chat. Yo, what up, Nisha LA? What's happening, Miss Lady? I noticed I was going through the chat as I'm doing the cast, and I kept looking at the chat, and nobody was showing up in the chat. So I'm like, hold up, that ain't like my cast. Like, motherfuckers show up to my chat. Like, what the fuck is up, right? I did the whole motherfucking cast. Shit ain't even fucking saved to the shit. So I was, I'm an Aries, man. So when we get hot, when we get mad, like, it take us a while to decompress and calm down. I didn't want to just double back and do it again. Like, I was like, man, fuck it. I'm finna just... I saw the boy Sugar Free. He was on Vlad TV and shit, doing his shit. So, man, let me watch some Sugar Free, man. Kind of calm me down, man. Get my mind on some other behavior, right? I was like, I got to decompress, man. I've done casts where the shit didn't go through on YouTube side, where they fucked up some shit. And I tried to do it like right then after. And like my energy was just like, motherfuckers could tell, like, I'm holding on to the grudge of it. Like, we Aries, man. We revive grudges, goddamn it. We don't just hold grudges. We'll revive it from ancient years back on your ass and expect you to face justice right then and there. You know what I mean? It's how we do things. So I had to do this shit today. I was like, man, let me do it because it's got to get done. It ain't like me to miss like days like this. It ain't my thing. Y'all know what I'm on right now. Trying to do shorter cast or whatever. But this got to be, whatever. But so we're talking about this police officer that got killed Sunday in Biloxi, Mississippi. And I'm going to make this into a series on my channel. Like, every time police officers get killed, we're going to run the narrative of, should we be feeling sad for this police officer? Was this cop a dirtbag? And what's the history of the police in this particular area where the police officer got killed? I don't think nobody's doing that shit on the social media platform. Nobody is making that a show. So I'm going to make this into a part of my platform. So we can all just, when they get on TV and say, everybody cry for this police officer, 21 gun salute, everybody cry for this person, everybody be sad, and trying to sell us their narrative and tell us how to feel about something and tell us when to feel and what to feel. That's type of snake shit. I'm going to have to G back and address it my way, right? Like, hold up, let me hang back and address it how I see fit. Don't you tell me how to feel. Dominant society, don't you tell me how to feel. Fucking TV screen, you know what I mean? I don't play that. I'm saying we, as a people, we tired of shedding tears for what the police fraternities have done to us and ours. And what they've been doing, during slavery 1, slavery 2, slavery 3, slavery 4. So, to ask us to, or command us to tear up, I'm looking at it funny. So this is my new series. Anytime a cop get blasted somewhere, I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to find them stories. I'm going to bring them to you, and I'm going to uncover the dirt, pull back the towel, lift the towel on certain shit. So here's the story. An off-duty police officer killed in an ambush outside the Biloxi, Mississippi police headquarters was planning to retire at the end of this year. Officials say Monday. Officer Robert McKeithen, a veteran of the Biloxi Police Department, was shot multiple times late Sunday by a suspect who escaped, said Biloxi Police Chief John Miller. The chief, spoke at a news conference feet from where his 58-year-old officer was killed inside of a parking lot outside the Lopez Cueve Public Safety Center. And he goes in and says, this animal did this. This animal that did this is still on the run. And we're going to do everything within our power to bring him to justice for Robert and his family, and for the men and the women of the Biloxi Police Department, and for the citizens of Biloxi. An emotional Miller said. Gulfport, Mississippi Police Chief Leonard Papania, whose agency is leading the investigation, said McKeithen was in uniform when the gunman approached him in the parking lot about 10 p.m. on Sunday and opened fire. And then it goes on to say he was a good man and he was an excellent man and all of this. And I already told y'all what I'm doing on these particular cats. We're going to see. Is it karma? Is it karma for some shit he did? Is it karma for some shit his police officer fraternity been doing out there? All right, I hip y'all to something like this when I did the video on Paradise, California. Let me get to the Chizat real quick since saw Niche in the mix. There we go. Yo, what up, G-Man, Junior 64? What up, Unbiased Sports? What up, Paraphernalia Palace? Deuce, what's happening? What's good, man? Good to see y'all on this midday type shit. So, y'all know I did this type of behavior with that video, the white looter shooters. Y'all might remember that video I did about Paradise, California. And people were saying, hey, be sad for Paradise, California. But I pulled a foul, a little dossier. And what? The whole city, the whole town and towns surrounding it, sundown towns, you know what I mean? History of racism, history of anti-black behavior, all up and through the shit. So, not a tear I'm gonna cry. Not a tear I'm gonna cry, you heard? So, that's on for the rest of this whole motherfucking series that I do. That's what's on right now. I need y'all to know. So, in this, they say they don't have a suspect, or they say they have a suspect that they're trying to finger. They found somebody, or they have arbitrarily labeled somebody as a suspect, and I'm not going to even put his picture up on my site, on my shit at all, on my channels, because I don't believe the police rushing to finger point. You understand? I've never been that trusting of police to just believe them when they say somebody did something. All right, because I know we're in a white supremacist regime, and the facts are just fluid. Facts are a fluid thing when it comes to the fraternity of police. They're trying to say the suspect shot him either before or after coming inside the police station. So that's a red flag all day right there to me. Like, motherfucker, what kind of investigating skills are y'all showing, saying this individual shot him, quote unquote, either before or after walking into a damn building? All right? Before or after walking into a building, that don't fly in a normal investigation world. Motherfuckers, either before or after, period. Right? In a world where we got cameras, and where police stations got cameras all around the building, outside. You ever seen a police station? They got them all up on the motherfucking edges of the motherfucking, where the gutters be at, on like a house or some shit. Before or after somebody walk into a building, that's something that we know for definite. Something that can be definitely said. So why even put that in the news? I mean, why make that a newsworthy point? That he walked into a police station, or he or she walked into a police station, right? Sounds like to me, you're just looking to blanket anybody that was walking into the police station during that whole day and during the whole weekend and all last week. We don't know. I mean, it sounds like to me that you don't even know whether they walked into the police station. It sounds like to me motherfuckers is witch hunting, and they want us to witch hunt with them. All right? And this is a predominantly white police station, predominantly black prison system in Mississippi, goddammit, and y'all don't know who the person is or when they showed up. So what are you telling me? So we're already seeing some very slick, sneaky, suspect white supremacist stuff here. Y'all know, when I think of Mississippi, I think of what happened to the boy Boosie, y'all. Y'all remember a couple years ago out in Biloxi, right where this happened. Boosie was in the mall with his crew, with his entourage, and some children were with him, and just people, mall patrons and stuff, was walking with him and his crew. and Lil Boosie got pepper sprayed. Y'all remember that shit? Like his entourage, everybody. He was at the mall, and a security guard at the mall didn't like a black celebrity walking in the mall. Was what it was, right? Boosie said he called him a nigger, and all kind of boys and shit like that. Called him a boy. And this security guard, he pepper sprayed, I think, Boosie's niece. I want to say his niece, who was pregnant. Sprayed one of his entourage members in the mouth and was like bragging, like, "Oh, I got you in your mouth," right? That type of shit. Then as they was leaving the mall, he followed them outside the mall and started spraying them as they outside of the mall, just gratuitously spraying them with this shit, right? And the Biloxi police, the issue was the Biloxi police, where this Robert McKeith done fuck with, his people, they took a bag of jewelry off of him, like $1 million bag of jewelry. Alright? They took his jewelry bag and they came with extra shit. They came real extra on this occasion. Not only did they take his jewelry, they went through and started dumping out charges to people. Simple assault on a police officer. Simple assault on a police officer. Just giving random motherfuckers charges. Alright? People in his entourage was getting hit with this simple assault on an officer. Some juveniles, like little kids that was walking along with him, was getting hit. Juveniles getting hit with these simple assault on a police officer charges. That's a felony. Understand? That's a felony. So these little kids getting felonies for the fucking with the Biloxi police, for them and their race soldier units and their deputized white supremacists at the fucking mall doing evil shit. Right? So I don't look at Biloxi police as angels. Period. And I want y'all to frame y'all thought around the racialized climate in Mississippi. We're going to sojourn to a few places, and then we're going to tie it in with these cops out here. Let me show y'all this. Y'all see this? That says after 148 years, Mississippi finally ratifies the 13th Amendment, which bans slavery. If y'all didn't know, Mississippi didn't ratify the 13th Amendment until 2013. Okay, this was February 7th, 2013, where they officially ratified the 13th Amendment. Understand that. 13th Amendment, for those that don't know, is supposedly what freed the black slaves, freed our ancestors from involuntary servitude. Okay? I'm going to bring up that point, involuntary servitude, again. But they didn't do all their little paperwork until 2013. All right? And you hear, they say that Mississippi didn't submit it to the U.S. Archives or something, to some archivist at a federal level. So that's why they never had that on the books for Mississippi. You hear people joking and talking shit about Mississippi, talking about, oh, they act like they still in slavery down there. You hear that shit, right? You hear that shit. But you laughing, but that shit was still in place. Slavery was still in place in Mississippi until 2013. If you want to look at what's on the books. So I want to show y'all how that snowballed into fuckery on black people in Mississippi. Oh, let me check out the chat real quick since I got it pulled up before I pull up any other screen. Yo, Cold Ref, Black First. Y'all didn't know that. Yeah, real shit. Cold Ref. What up, Cold Ref? Niece, we should never be surprised at the cave beast ever. Hell the fuck no, we shouldn't. Hell no. Cold Ref. So this is a corrupt department in the first place. Look, yeah, we about to show all the dirt. Really, real life, man. No tangibles 2020, no vote 2020. Yeah, that's how shit fly. Niche LA says Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas are headquarters of evil devils. My home state, Louisiana, has the most black people in their jails. Yeah. They dirty as fuck out there. And I'm sure we'll have some stories to say about some cops that got blasted out there that I'm about to go through their motherfucking dirtbag behavior out there too. I'm already smelling that shit, right? Paraphernalia Palace is true. Yeah, it is true. Paraphernalia Palace. Legally, they are still in Jim Crow. Shit, we all in that shit. We all in the matrix of this shit. We all under the thumb of white supremacists leaning. They can say whatever and do whatever, and we gotta act like, okay, y'all can say and do whatever. All right, well, watch. There's a consequence to that. The shit go like this, and then we do what we do. I'm saying, Cold Rep, what's up, brother? Yeah, what up, Cold Rep? I'm seeing you, son. I'm seeing you, son. Shun. What up, Shun? You know what I mean? So yeah. So with this, they try to sell it, this 13th Amendment non-filing, as a oversight, right? They try to sell it like, oh, they made an oversight. That's a hell of an oversight. Like, what? How do you write off filing the paperwork to free a specific race from slavery? And you got a bunch of your sons and daughters, your white sons and daughters that got killed fighting the damn Civil War that they lost. Your own white ancestors' blood was proof that you lost the war, which made way for the 13th Amendment. Yet you want to hide that they died fucking around and fooling around with that shit, right? Like, that is another point. Like, the Civil War was about the South breaking away from the U.S. so they could keep all of our ancestors' profits to themselves and not have to involve the North. The North was like, no, we can rob black people better together. We can be together and rob black people. Right? That's what the fuck they was on. So they fought the little fucking war. But how do you write off freeing the people at the center of your fucking economy in Mississippi as, oh, it was just a minor oversight? No. I'm going to let y'all know that it was deliberate. Okay? That's what I want y'all to see. That's my point. But back to the police out there in Biloxi. Biloxi is a major city. They got a bunch of casinos. It's like a little resort town. They got shit. It's a major tourist spot. One of the biggest cities in Mississippi before Katrina popped off. I think they were like third in the state before Katrina popped off and people started moving out and all that shit. I'm not too sure where they at now. But you definitely can't tell me a place that only freed black people in 2013, back to the cops, just produces this wash of great, excellent, upstanding, moral ass police officers. I don't believe it. I don't believe that shit. I looked for the dirt on this McKeithen guy, and I only found, police covering for his history right now, so far. So we know white police lie for white police, whether they living or dead, right? And just us as a group, we have firsthand experience with police lying for police, especially white police lying for white police and covering for them, right? But to give you an idea of how the anti-black Mississippi has revealed itself to be in some very police-ass ways, we're gonna touch on a prison system out here. I don't think people understand. I don't think people really get the depths that this state has sunk into with our people. I want to take a quick look at the prison industrial complex and some of its history and its police that are a part of it in Mississippi. So check it out. Mississippi has a 60% white population. I think they're like 59% white people, basically 60% white people, and a 37.5% black population. Now, juxtapose that next to the prison population. Black population in the prison is 61 to 62% out there in Mississippi. The white population in the prison is 36%. All right? That's to show you that something is off about Mississippi. They had a long problem, and any of the activists out there will tell you this. They had a long ass problem out there, and they still have this long standing problem of over policing black neighborhoods. All right, and these numbers right here, this is just blatant that they're traveling to black neighborhoods, these police, and they're ferreting out black people to lock up. And it's obvious because we're so few in number in the whole motherfucking state. And that's the one thing that a lot of the Mississippi activists, black people out there that ain't having the bullshit, that's the one thing that they all agree on. Like, yeah, man, they are patrolling our shit. They're not policing. They just coming to lock motherfuckers up. And it is for like a lot of the petty shit. Petty drug charges, petty all this other shit. They locking motherfuckers up just to fill a jail cell, okay? And we're so few in number in the whole damn state. But look at those numbers. Look at that number. And Biloxi race demographics, it's the same issue. It's the same as the state. Actually, Biloxi is 71% white, 19% African American. Wasn't able to find the arrest demographic for Biloxi as far as race, but when the fraction of the white group in the state is the same as the fraction of black people you put in prison, and black people are a smaller group, that should tell you something. I can guess it's probably the same for the cities as well, especially something like Biloxi, a major big ass city, right? The same race-based targeting on the micro scale as it is on the macro scale. They running a race-based setup in Mississippi. And I want y'all to soak on that. I want y'all to soak on some facts right now with your boy. Let me run to this other screen right quick. And while I'm waiting, let me get to the Chizat. Slavery was never stopped. It went from private to public, says Nisha LA. I Am Black Planet. You going in with statistics. Yeah, you already know I Am Black Planet. Good to see you, I Am Black Planet. What's good? What's good? What's good with you? I don't think people put this shit together, man. So I'll be like, check shit out. So check that out. Look, if y'all can't read that screen, that is laying out the incarceration rates for Mississippi compared to the whole motherfucking United States and compared to a bunch of countries, full ass countries. This is 2018 data, incarceration rates per 100,000 people in population. That's 1,039 people in Mississippi. United States, if y'all can't read, that's 698 per 100,000 population. Okay? You look at those numbers, that's definitely a vestige of slavery out there. And also not even ratifying the 13th Amendment until 2013 shit. You can see how there's some residual momentum from slavery and Reconstruction and Jim Crow and all of that shit caught up in that high ass number. So my point is, imprisonment and free black labor is now acculturized in Mississippi due to its history of just institutional white supremacist targeting of us for prison, right? And second-class citizenry. And let me show y'all how. Let's pull the clock back on Mississippi and what happened with the police's roles and the state's role in general after slavery to keep bringing slavery to black people. Let's look at that period right after Reconstruction, like 1867 and on. Right after Reconstruction. Or right as Reconstruction started. So that would be 1867 up to 1877. This is the period of time that white people in Mississippi in particular got mad because other white people were using black people for peonage labor. So y'all heard of peonage, right? Like right after slavery, white people got mad at other white people because there was a white group of people who were using black people as a workforce to take jobs from white people. All right? I'm going to say that again. White folk was getting mad at other white people. Right? Because black people was still taking jobs, was being used in a free labor capacity so much that white people were being displaced from jobs. Privately, this would happen. White people would stop a black person on the street, pull out a gun and say, "You're going back into slavery, Negro." Okay? And this is what they were doing daily. And it got so prevalent, white people got mad at the loss of work that it was causing white people, the loss of white work. That goes to show you, again, that we need reparations for post Civil War incarnations of chattel slavery, and I won't let no group of people sleep on that. I got enough data and facts to bang motherfuckers' heads open over this shit. So we gonna keep it coming. We gonna get it all these other groups, all that shit. So it ain't no stopping on my channel. But our enslavement after our chattel slavery was so bad that white folk was getting pissed off at these extreme job losses. So us being a smaller population, still, we were a smaller population then. And I just gave you the population numbers of black to white in Mississippi. It was the same back then. No different in the period right after slavery, Reconstruction, going into the Jim Crow era. We were a small population compared to white people in Mississippi. Yet we were displacing them from work. So I just want y'all to get an idea of how voraciously exploitative or exploited, I think is the word. Is that the word? Exploited? Either way. How voraciously exploited our ancestors were with this new kind of enslavement shit, right? In peonage, it wasn't no picnic. It was still violent. Black women in peonage were still being raped as punishment type shit. We're still getting whipped. It was the same shit, all right? Still involved torture and abuse of black people. Did none of that change. And this was a working machine. So understand, it was so efficient for white supremacist society to where we were displacing, our ancestors were replacing and displacing the largest group of people in America from working. You see? Now that, as I said, peonage, free labor, and torturing of black people system, that would happen privately. Publicly, this is where we talking about the police. This white supremacist regime enacted what was called convict leasing. After slavery, white folk felt they had to revive the South economy for whatever reason. And they felt, well, because we're white, we're inferior, we're lazy, we're genetically incapable of making an economy comparable to what black people already showed the world we could do, right? Then in comes white fragility, white weakness, white spitefulness, and genetic jealousy, all of that shit that I've talked about on this channel. All that shit shows up again. So then race soldiers, police officers, would make fake ass charges on black people in the street and get us caught up in the shit. Lock us up for convict leasing enslavement. And the state of Mississippi was one of many states who pulled this so the state could get paid. And police were facilitating it. Understand? And as we got caught up in it, the state would lease our people to corporations, to plantations, shit like that. All right? And this was just how white supremacy found a way, and how white supremacist society found a way to make slavery again, and police were helping them. So when I hear about a police getting blasted, I'm just saying, when I hear about a police getting blasted, shit, my heart beat this way. Understand? That's what the fuck going on. And we talk about the 13th Amendment, the one that Mississippi didn't make official till 2013. We talked about the 13th Amendment being what banned or ended involuntary servitude, but the other part of that 13th Amendment said, except as a punishment for a crime, right? Police use that to trap black people into this convict leasing, right? That's how I know Mississippi. That's how I know they read the damn 13th Amendment before and they just didn't sign the shit. They read the thing and decided, okay, we're going to follow that part of the 13th Amendment that says enslave black people for crimes, which was really just white imagined criminality, like motherfucker painting criminality on black people at will. That's what the fuck shit's about in this bitch, right? We'll follow that idea just fine, but we still won't sign it because we're not going to sign it because that's like us meeting defeat and admitting defeat. That's what it was about. It's about an ego thing. Every move they make is about their punk ass ego. When we talking about white supremacist society, because that's all they really got to hang on is what they can frame up and fluff up around their ego and what they can make into narratives about themselves. The fluffery they can put around themselves, but not no real shit. The ego can be boosted up by all kind of fluffery and fakery, but the real shit will bring your motherfucking ass back to earth. All right? And they was like, look, if we sign the 13th Amendment, this is what I think they did. They was like, man, if we sign the 13th Amendment, that's like us admitting defeat. And it's like us saying we lost, which they did lose. And it's also like saying we can't have black people how we want them. You understand? We want black people to be in a subservient position. So we'll play dumb. We'll let the document sit on the motherfucking table for 148 years. Let it sit in the motherfucking offices or wherever the fuck it sits for 148 years. We'll let it collect dust for 148 fucking years. Right? This is what they were doing. And we got to understand that. You see what white society will do. They will play dumb for 148 years if it means they can get by on besetting black people. All right? So like I said, it was a part of them not admitting defeat and part of them having room to trip black people up using an institution and refining slavery by some method is my point. And these convict leases, y'all, if y'all don't know, man, these were real dangerous ass jobs. You know, they would have us doing work like laying down dynamite to blow up tunnels and shit so the railroads could be laid out, right? We were laying out dynamite to blow up tunnels and shit. That's a dangerous ass job. They had us clearing whole fucking swamps by hand. Man-made swamp clearing operations, right? Man-done swamp clearing, right? So construction companies could come through and build over top of where swamps used to be. Right, you talking about your people from Niche, you talking about your people from Louisiana. I'm sure y'all might have heard about some of them things, right? So recognize that, and this was all for free. All this shit was done for free. So whether it was that type of work, commercial type work, or whether it was a plantation, it wasn't just a prison. This convict leasing shit. People would be leased to prisons, and states would be like, "Yo, let me take your prisoners from your state to do work in my state," and it would just be a trade. The states would be like the middleman and just flipping money, flipping cash, and they would just be moving convicts all over the place. Or convicts, I mean what they call convicts, who they make up charges on and try to frame motherfuckers with shit. That type of shit, right? So y'all might know about this. We're gonna touch a little more on Mississippi. Mississippi police back in the civil rights era, around 64, 65, they would lock up black civil rights protesters. Mississippi police. There goes that word again. Mississippi police. And they would send them out to a place called Parchman Prison. Anybody from Mississippi, y'all know Parchman Prison. It's called Mississippi State Penitentiary now, but the other name is Parchman. Y'all are familiar with that, I'm sure. They would arrest civil rights activists and lock them up in Parchman Prison just for protesting, where they would torture them in this motherfucker. These civil rights activists, they would lock up hundreds. They locked up a lot of the freedom riders there. You know, the freedom riders, these were teenagers. Teenagers that were locking up in Parchman Prison in Mississippi for torturing sake. They would do all kind of shit. Police, they would hit the protesters with, spray them with fire hoses, spray them down, and then lock them in a cell and turn the air on, turn the AC on full blast for like days, 3-4 days. I'm saying you could kill a motherfucker like that. You understand? This is what they were doing to our black teenagers in the 60s. Police. You understand? This is what was happening. To be tortured. They were sent there to be tortured. Just for participating in civil rights struggle. You know what I mean? And just imagine that as a civil rights activist or a civil rights protester, you having to sit in a place where your ancestors, you black, you sit in a place where your ancestors during Reconstruction in the Jim Crow era did slave labor. Well, I want to say Jim Crow era, because Parchman was built in 1901, so that would be Jim Crow era, not Reconstruction. My bad. But where your ancestors did slave labor in, you understand? Because you were being tortured for fighting to desegregate buses for all these groups of people that we see now in America. That's the realest shit. That's why our struggle is not everybody else's struggle. I need for y'all to always soak on that fact. No Latino set their ass up in Parchman in the prison to help everybody else get desegregated buses. You understand? No Asians set their ass in Parchman to help everybody get desegregated buses. No Indians, no white immigrants. You understand? No white immigrants. I don't care the motherfuckers that came in the 1600s or the ones that came in the 1830s. None of them set their ass in Parchment Prison. You understand? To help everybody get desegregated buses. No group made this kind of sacrifice for this diversity that this country bragged the fuck about all the motherfucking time. But black people. You understand? And you got these other groups talking about, oh, we didn't own slaves. Bitch, you didn't sacrifice for everybody's well-being here like we did. You understand me? So your ass, you bow down to, you bow the fuck down to, you put it on our bag too, you run that. Hold up, where my ticker at? Let me pull up my ticker on there. Hold up. My ticker, what my ticker say? Where's that run that bag? It's coming up. You'll see that on my ticker, run that bag. God damn it. All y'all. So, you know, it was that. They locked up the Freedom Riders, man. If you're familiar with Natchez, Mississippi, it goes on and on, man. The KKK out there in Mississippi, in Natchez, Mississippi, they killed up some of our ancestors out there, rounded up some black folks and killed them out there, and then more of our protesters came out to show their disdain for the bullshit, right? And you know, KKK, if y'all, I'm sure y'all know the KKK, man, they shit, back in the day, they were all policed out, all the judges, all that shit. These motherfuckers were KKK members, all right? This was a reality. So what happened? They would take these brothers and sisters, like I said, who was civil rights struggling people, lock them up in Parchment. They did the same thing for us protesting against the KKK, killing black folk out in the streets in Mississippi. Fill them to Parchment, torture them, same old shit. So I want our people again to just notice that this is the culture out there in Mississippi. This is what's in the ground. This is what's in the air out there. And Parchment Prison, look, they call it a prison, but it's really a prison plantation. The shit was 46 miles across at some point. It's 20, back then it was 20,000 acres, like in the, I guess like around the 50s and 60s, that era. Now it's like about 18,000 square miles. But you hear all the stories of our ancestors. You go through the slave logs, you hear our ancestors saying stuff, and you know, or they speak up on the fact that, hey, plantations, they was like little cities. So we're talking about a prison plantation that's 46 miles deep. That's a fucking city. That's a fucking town. Imagine you wake up every day and all you see for 50 miles is just your people working for nothing. What? Motherfucker. So, yeah, this shit was state-supported slavery after slavery, and torture after slavery, after the shit ended, right? Yet Mississippi want to pretend like it didn't know until 2013. You see? So this is why our reparations must be paid, period. So to Officer McKeithen, like I said in the beginning, man, we tired of shedding tears for what your fraternity do to us. You can't make us feel bad when y'all get blasted. You just can't ask us to feel bad when the weight of what we done went through is heavier than what y'all punk asses go through. I don't want to hear shit from nobody talking shit. You know what I'm saying? Not a tear we gonna cry. We looking at everything y'all been doing since slavery, with the motherfucking patty rollers, with the motherfucking slave catchers. We looking at all of that shit. The shit y'all did during slavery 1, slavery 2, slavery 3, slavery 4, all of this shit. All of these different incantations of slavery. We holding all of that against y'all, if you didn't know. So, let me put up my picture. Let me put up my picture while we going through the closing facts. Let's look at some black babies. Let's look at some black children. There's some black children right there working in the motherfucking Parchment fucking plantation. There they go. Understand? So when y'all ask us to cry for y'all cops to get blasted, you talking to the wrong channel. You came to the wrong channel to respect that shit. You came to the wrong place. So I'm not going to do it. I'm going to look and see where the dirt sit. And if I uncover any dirt, that's why I'm going to make this a series, y'all. I'm going to make it a whole series. So Every time I see a cop do some evil, some dirt, you know, I need a way to release, goddammit. There was a sister who got slammed by the police. Her mama, everybody was out there, and she got slammed by the police at a routine traffic stop. And I was like, hold up, man, this type of shit, that's what actually made me want to start this series. I was like, hold up, man, I need some sort of balance of the energy. I can't just see this shit every day and then not see the balance. So I said, let me see what cop got killed today. And then I thought of this shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this one be bringing. This is just my first episode of this shit. I'm gonna bring other ones like this, y'all. I'm gonna keep this going. This is gonna be a staple of my channel, so y'all can tune in to feel that karmic release. Goddammit, you come to my channel. Like I said, this is a black sanctuary, so fuck what anybody else talking about. They can die for all I care. I don't care about nobody else. About nobody else but my people. Let's go to the chat, man. I've been talking to name. Check out the chat. What's happening? I gotta get a chat shout out because damn, y'all show up. I like the new format. I get to, you know, kind of look through things, check out things. Okay, so I don't know how I can go back up. I think I can go back up on my YouTube. Let me see how I can go move up on the YouTuber side of the game. Oh, here it go. Here it go. So where do we stop at? Okay, yo, what up, Millie Round? Pay us one way or another. What up, big bro? It's good, man. Good to see you. New faces in the chat. Millie Round says, pay us one way or another. We in the land of captivity. That means we still not free. Real life. Yeah. Code Ref. More proof that there is no law in the U.S. Yeah. Nisha LA. This place reeks of evil. We will never have peace here. Yeah. It's got to be war. That's the only stone that's left unturned. Really though. If you asking a motherfucker like me, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? We got a war for something. God damn it. There are some steps that need to be gone through in order for shit to be right. You gotta go through hell to come out right. In any point of your life, in any engagement you dealing with, any point of encounter you dealing with. So that's how shit go. That's how shit look. And for 120 years, they even kept black people out of railroad jobs. Real talk, Cold Ref, you talking about like the unions and shit like that? Because the unions had a good history of keeping black folks out of the railroad world. I wouldn't doubt that, brother. I wouldn't doubt that if that's what you're talking about, brother. Damn, exactly. And many civil rights, this is Cold Ref talking. Exactly. And many civil rights Negroes to this day are in fear of giving true feelings about that era. Like, what the fuck? Why would you? What? Motherfucker? Why would you? Man, we in the South, man. I say, look, we in the South, man. So this shit feel different out here. It don't feel like the way it feels in other places, I'm assuming. You can't explain the shit. So for a motherfucker that's on some pro-black shit, as they called us back in the day or whatever, man, like, you understand, that turned his life over to that shit, it's like, saying we feeling the shit in the ground out here. We hear the shit in the air. We smell the shit in the air, dog. Like, it's a different feel out here all the way around. We got plantations out here still, homie. A bunch of them out here, homie. You understand me? And they made jokes about Trayvon Martin and other blacks that were killed. Are you talking about just Mississippi and the police in general? Cold Ref? Because yeah, that's real life. You know, Mississippi got a history, man, of just taunting black people. There was a issue, I'll say, about 3 years ago, if y'all remember. There was a softball team from Philly, like, came down to play some sort of softball tournament out in Mississippi, and the dugout for the other team, they had like started pulling out these monkey masks, like monkey, and they was making, you know, ape noises and shit, and calling them nigger and nigger and nigger. They come out in the Mississippi paper talking about, oh well, this is just it's just their way of taunting, but nobody was. They do that with all the teams. They weren't just doing that with them. Like, no, motherfucker, no. That's an insult reserved for black people. The monkey insult, motherfucker. Ain't nobody dumb, bitch. Is what I'm saying in my mind. But what I'm gonna say to y'all is, yeah, that's what the fuck it is, man. Like, they play dumb. They do all kind of. They show their skin. They show their skin tone. All right. They show their melanin amount with the shit they do. They show how much connectivity they have with righteousness and the shit they do, co-ref. So yeah, I'm not seeing that as a far cry from what these people were doing. If you were talking about somebody out in Mississippi, we just, stand on the topic of Mississippi, but shit, we see that all around. Yes, sir. The police in general. Okay, yeah, real life. G-Man Jr. 24 says these race soldier cops out here are bullshit. So I don't give a shit at all when they get killed. Hold on, man. Where my hand clap emoji? Goddamn it. My hand clap emoji. Motherfuckers be too soft and they be playing too much for no reason. Like, how obvious do you want this shit to be? How obvious is the shit? That this the world we in. Motherfuckers act like this ain't the world we in, man. You understand? I don't get it. That's for you, my brother G-Man Jr. 64. You understand? What the fuck? Oh, they don't get what we can change. We can't change the color of the hand emoji. They don't let us do that on the... Okay, fuck it. But y'all get my point. The funny thing is, it's their fellow KBs that always shoot and kill them. They insane. Yeah, you already know, they murk up police after police. If you go through the Officer Down Memorial Project, the ODMP, go to their site and just check it out. You'll see. Just chase those cases down. You'll see it's majority white boys killing the fuck out of police. And they don't get the stank put on it like it should, in my eyes. Alright? What's that sound? It'll keep going off. Whatever the fuck. Anyway, though, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to smash that notification bell, so you know when I'm dropping. And don't forget to fuck with that Teespring shit. There you go. That shit holla. Holla. Let me holla at you and shit. Yo, I fuck with that don't harm black people in my presence mug. Yo, I fuck with that don't harm black people in my presence phone cover and shit. I'm finna get a new phone and shit, and I'm finna throw one of them bitches on it. But yeah, y'all check that shit out. Check out my Teespring. Y'all see that in the very top of the chat. I'm glad y'all checked in with your boy. I'm gonna be getting at y'all. Got more stories to drop. Ain't no fucking laughs and it ain't no fucking jokes and no fucking games neither. So yeah, get it, y'all.